Tuesday. It's episode 99 of Show Me the Money Club. It would have been 100, but I got sick 2 weeks ago, so I can't really. Beggars can't be choosers, but Sergio, how you doing today?
Excellent, excellent. I'm
Good.
glad you're back. Well, you were back
Yes.
last week. I think you were just back
I
in
was like,
physical. You were like,
so I had, so 2 weeks ago, I had food poisoning that rolled into the flu bee. And so it was a roller coaster ride of sick and health and going up and down. So now I have the leftover remnants with the cough and like a little bit of congestion, but everything's good. I'm feeling a lot better. I've been to the gym a couple of times now back there. So I'm happy. I'm good. Thank you everybody for, putting out there the good vibes and reaching out and saying, hey, I hope you feel better. So appreciate that. I am definitely doing a lot better. Unfortunately for my wife, she is now the one who is not feeling well. So it's just going around right now. Kids are all set, so they're on the other side of it. But yes, so that's what's going on. First and foremost, I want to say condolences and well wishes to the city of Baltimore. Everybody that's going on in there with the bridge collapse. Very scary what was going on. Early reports of them closing the bridge down, so it could have been a lot worse than what it was. Still, we want to make sure that we are with our prayers and everything with all the people in Baltimore, all the people who are on the bridge as it was coming down, all the people on the ship. Hopefully answers will be coming, especially that early of the day. I'm sure there were probably a couple of rideshare drivers that were probably on the bridge at the time. So either way, we want to make sure everybody there is doing a-okay or as best as can be. So that was pretty crazy to see.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen as well too.
Yeah.
But with that being said, we do have a great show lined up for you today. We have Gemma from Solo coming on in just a few moments. We also have Janet and Yeahwon coming from Colin Tax to answer your tax questions. So very good and very great information that will be coming from that. We also have some announcements that we'll be doing in just a few minutes. But let's talk about the rundown as well. So we'll have our guests on. And then afterwards, we're going to be talking about Uber Intercity and what that is. There's some information there. So you guys know exactly what that is because it's all over Facebook and Reddit, and people are wondering what it is. And Sergio's texted me what that is. So we're going to be talking about that. Huh? Yep.
I have it.
Yep. LA does. And then we're going to be talking about, is Uber stealing tips on reserved trips? We're going to be talking about Lyft Upfront Algo is totally broken. Lyft is calling it edge cases. We're disagreeing. Lyft really is checking. Are they checking rider IDs, or is this really about debit card verification? We're going to be talking about why Boston is the best market for Uber and Lyft drivers. Yes, I did do that. And I'm going to do the Boston accent too the whole time. So we're going to be doing how fast did the Uber background check take? So you just had your background check. I had mine a couple of weeks ago. Let's see who is faster. And then Doordash drones are here. Are they going to take off or are they going to crash in a fiery burn? And then we're going to end the show with some fakes and some funnies. So first off, we want to start with our announcements. So Sergio, you got something going on this week. What's going on?
I got for all LA, Ventura County, Inland Empire, Orange County, wherever you guys are around LA County. We have Curbivore going on. I think it's our 4th year. Arts District, downtown LA, March 29th. Starts at 9 a.m., goes all the way to 4:30 p.m. So you guys can show up anytime you want. Go to curbivore.co, not com, curbivore. I am tweeting it. We're trying to get a lot of drivers out there because tickets are usually like $99. There's going to be a lot of great vendors, a lot of drivers, hopefully, and there's going to be free food, free drinks, free breakfast, free everything. All you have to do is go to curbivore.co, click register. You have to register. You can't buy a ticket at the gate. There is no such thing. Register and checkout, put Sergio, Sergio 5 with no spaces. You will get your ticket for $5. I mean, it's a good bargain. $5, come and eat $50 worth of food. I think it's pretty cool. But you'll meet me. We'll take pictures. We can talk shop. Hey, we can do our test. We're in a busy area. I'm pretty sure pings are plentiful. What better occasion getting drivers together and doing a secondary test? So please go to curbivore.co, register, and get your ticket. And I'm really, really looking forward to meeting all of you in person. I know you all see me on YouTube quite a bit, but meeting in person is a lot different than seeing me on YouTube. So please show up. Friday, March 29th, starts at 9 a.m. You can show up anytime you want.
All right. And we also want to thank all the memberships, all the members that have become members. It truly helps the channel. So if you'd like to help support the channel in any way you can, then please think about joining as a member. It helps support the channel. And when YouTube ad revenue kind of dwindles, which it has, and things like that, it helps keep the content flowing, and it also helps keep the contributors going. So we do appreciate that. And then also, we do want to announce we have our members only live coming this week on Thursday. It is going to be noon on Pacific time and 3 p.m. Eastern. So again, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. And so if you're a member there, you will get the link and can join us for the members only live, a little bit more off cuff and a little bit more non-PC and all that. So yes, please join us there. Also, if you'd like to follow Sergio and myself, again, our links are in the description, so you can check us there. And also, we have a free newsletter. And Sergio, I know you love talking about the newsletter, so I'm going to let you talk about that one.
Yep. Free is good these days, as bad as things may look in the rideshare space. I'm writing for our blog again, a newsletter that goes out automatically. All you have to do is go to www.therideshareguy.com. It's free. Just sign up. You'll get my articles. You get other contributors, really good articles automatically, and there's no cost involved whatsoever. So that's more of the free stuff we're throwing out. Yeah, I mean, pretty much 99.9% of the stuff we put out is free, bro. YouTube is free. The newsletter is free. Curbivore is almost free, $5. I mean, that's free. Come just eat your food and then leave. Oh, by the way, at Curbivore, we have a specific hour called Driver Power Hour, which is going to be from 12:30 p.m. right at lunchtime, so we can all sit and break bread, 12:30 to 1:30. So if you're going to show up right in that hour, show up a little bit before, let's shake hands, give some hugs, and then eat our lunch. So with that said, I think we made our guests wait enough. Let's bring him on and let's talk something that we can't avoid. Taxes.
Oh, yeah. All right, so let's bring on Gemma, and Gemma is from Solo.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Gemma.
Thanks so much for having me on today's Show Me the Money Club. My name is Gemma, and I'm a growth manager here at Solo. For those that are not familiar with Solo, we are a mobile app that aims to make managing gig work much easier. We know that working for yourself can come with a lot of great flexibility and many options for ways to work and earn income. But we also know that with that comes a lot of challenges and unpredictability. So Solo aims to enable you as the worker to keep that flexibility you love while also making it easier for you to juggle multiple jobs, hit your earnings goals, and also manage some of the administrative aspects of gig work, like tracking your own income, automatically tracking your own miles, tracking other expenses, and also filing your taxes within one app. So like Sergio and Chris mentioned, taxes are due in just a few weeks. And we know from our users that it can be overwhelming to know where and when to start and what you need to know as you're filing as a 1099 worker. So I'm really excited and honored to be joined today by Yeahwon and Janet from Column Tax. Column Tax is Solo's tax partner, and they're here to answer some questions about tax filing as experts in the field. So we'd love to bring them on too.
Yep. So let's bring on Janet and Yeahwon. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate that.
Thanks.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? Thank you for doing this. Really, I mean, I think it's important, especially a couple of weeks before tax time. we can get away from death and taxes, right? Is that what they say? So in this case, taxes. Let's, to start with, Gemma eloquently explained the relationship between Solo and, Solo is one of my favorite apps. I have it on my phone. They also offer some guarantees for the hourly work that you're putting in. If you don't make it, they will make it up to you. But how many drivers you have on your systems now? Close to a couple 100,000, Gemma?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, there you go. So, so the partnership obviously is a credible one between Column Tax and Solo. So we're here to answer questions if you guys have questions. But we'll start the conversation with Yeahwon and Janet. Have them talk a little bit about independent contractors, taxes, what they should do, and then we'll get more into the details of deductions. But it's their area of expertise, so I'm going to let them talk. And so go ahead, you two, introduce yourselves, and then we'll get into it.
I can get started. My name's Janet Bracey. I'm CPA. I work here as a tax analyst with Column Tax, and not to go too much into detail, but tax analyst is kind of a combination of an accountant plus an engineer. We kind of help build the software that Solo is using so you can file your taxes with them. And I've been here about 2 years, and it's been a good experience so far.
Hi, my name is Yeahwon Lee, and I joined Column Tax back in September, and I'm also a tax analyst and a CPA. Happy to be here.
There you go. So, W-2s are different. The way we file taxes, are different. But let's talk a little bit about what you're seeing as far as trends are concerned, as far as independent contractors are concerned, right? For myself, I get all my 1099s from all the different gig apps, which could be confusing just to read them, and in its own is a chore, is an ordeal. But that's why Solo comes in and it breaks down everything for you guys. But so I get my 1099s, I take him to my CPA, and then he does my taxes. But not everybody may go to a CPA. So what advice would you give people who are multi-apping like me, I'm literally on 8 different apps because that's the only way I can make money these days. I can't be on one. So what advice in general would you give 1099ers like myself?
So I'll start. Generally, it depends on kind of what area or industry you're in. So we're going to use gig workers, for example. Let's say you're for both Lyft and Uber riding, or excuse me. So you're working for both Uber and Lyft, and you get 1099s for both. You take them to your accountant. What do I do with these? They're going to generally group them into one because it's kind of related. So since it's all ride sharing apps type services, it'll go all into one Schedule C is what we'll call it. And that's generally what we recommend. If you have, let's say, ride sharing, you do Doordash or Uber Eats or Instacart, all of that, you can kind of consolidate those into one business because they share a common theme. But if you're a handyman, let's say, on the side and do work for that, but then also do Uber lifts, those are considered 2 separate type businesses. So you kind of want to divide those into 2 filings or 2 Schedule Cs on your tax return.
Okay. Do you have anything to add, Yeahwon?
Yeah, just to add to that, the reason why is because whenever you file a Schedule C, you have to indicate what type of industry or business that business you're claiming on that Schedule C belongs to.
Okay.
So if they're all different businesses, you're going to have to file multiple Schedule Cs.
Okay. Obviously, a lot of us as gig workers, right? Our channel is made up of gig workers. I personally take the 67 cent this year, 67 cents, I believe, is the IRS standard mileage deduction, right? But let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk a little bit about the differences of how you can file taxes by taking that deduction or itemizing your deductions. So whoever wants to take that on, let's talk a few minutes about that.
Okay, I'll take it. So you have the standard, which he says the 67 cent for 2024. For 2023. If you haven't filed your taxes yet, 65.5 cents. But let's start from the beginning. Let's say you have a car, driving for Uber. If you own that car, you can take the mileage on it, or you can take what we call actual expenses or itemized expenses. So let's say you're paying for gas, you're paying for tolls, rental car fees, things like that. You have the option of determining which of those deductions is the best. Will give you like the best bang for your buck, for lack of a better word. So there's a catch. If you are renting a car and say using that for Uber or Lyft, you cannot take the mileage deduction for those. You have to take the actual expenses, which will be all of your rental fees, gas, tolls, and things of that nature. But if you own the car, and let's say you drive 10,000 or 10,000 miles a year for business, that's a 6,500 deduction for 2023. So that might be better to take that instead of your actual expenses, which may be like $2,000, $3,000.
So do you run, let's say, both versions for somebody and then figure out which more, like you said, more bang for their buck? Is that what you do?
Yeah, typically any software that you use, they're going to ask you a series of questions, kind of like an accountant would do. How many miles did you drive this year? Okay, what expenses did you actually pay for the fees and things like that? Or if you're an Uber Lyft driver and you get a tax statement, you can have that information ready. But then all that information is entered in, and then the two are calculated and compared. And whichever one we feel gives you the better benefit, that's the one that we're going to default to. You do have an option to use the other if you don't prefer to, get all of your tax dollars back, but we generally give you the one that's better benefited.
Okay. There, I know for a fact that in our community, a lot of people rent, like you mentioned before. So just to reiterate that, if you're renting to do rideshare or gig work, you can only deduct the rental cost, monthly, let's say, or weekly rental cost, correct?
Correct.
And your gas and can you deduct your cell phone expenses?
You can.
Okay.
And it's when it determines if you're trying to determine if you can take the miles or not, the one thing I think about is who owns the car. That's generally the person that can take the mileage offhand.
Okay.
But if you have things like cell phones, you buy, let's say if you Uber again, you buy drinks to put in the car for the people that ride with you, or cell phone chargers, things like that. You can take those as a expense if you're using it strictly for business. Now, if you're using it to charge your own cell phone for personal reasons, you cannot deduct it for that.
Okay, there are a couple of questions. Let's take those before I forget and before the chat flies away. One question is this: discuss the difference between 1099 personal as it adds to your personal and bracket versus LLC. Is that clear? Because it's not clear to me, but it's probably clear to you guys. If we can answer that.
So there's two types of, I want to say, businesses. You have the sole proprietorship, which I think of as personal. That's the Schedule C. And then you have a limited liability company, LLC. The main difference between those two is the protection. So if you're doing just side work and things like that, you can just file a Schedule C on your personal return and be done. There's not really a difference or tax bracket between the two. It's more of how you're treated, either as a individual business where you file, I want to say, papers with the state, or you're just going to file a Schedule C on your personal return. You don't have to do any paperwork. And so if you're a sole proprietor or personal, doing a personal business, just doing, gig work, not really thinking of it as a business, then you can file the Schedule C. But if you think you're going to be in business for years and want to, add on another owner or something like that, then you may want to do an LLC. An LLC is basically a separate, let's say, a separate business from you. So there's like a veil. When you file an LLC paperwork with the state, anyone that tries to come after you, like a lawsuit or something, they can only come after your LLC business. They can't come after your personal items. So
Okay,
that's
so it's for more liability purposes as opposed to deductions or extra deductions and
correct.
things like that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So let's answer this one. If I have an LLC, which is better for me as an employee of my LLC, like a lot of, first of all, there's like many different platforms in gig work, right? Or in rideshare. So there's Uber X, which is the lowest end, and then there's all the way up to Uber Black, which is the limousines and Suburbans and things like that. And most of those, Uber does require the driver to carry their own commercial insurance and have an LLC. And in this question, if I have an LLC, which is better for me as an employee of my LLC to pay for the gas and have the company reimburse me, or just have the company to pay for the gas? That's a question. I don't know.
I would have to ask first whether that LLC is really a single member LLC. If you were the only employee of your LLC, you are taxed the same as whether you file a sole proprietorship. At the end of the day, you're filing a Schedule C to claim any income and expenses for your business.
Okay. While I'm looking at the chat, so as a gig worker, I got, I think, 4 or 5 1099s this year, right? One thing with these companies is that a lot of our community complains that what they're actually showing on and I'm sure you have seen some of those 1099s, right? From Uber, from Lyft, what they're actually telling us is not accurate, right? What it is that what they'll do is they'll put on one column, they'll put the total passenger, what the rider paid, right? And then they put their commission. So let's talk a little bit about the relationship, because I get asked that question a lot. A lot of drivers think what they see as the aggregate passenger pay is not matching their bank deposits, right? But I always tell them, you have to take the commissions, which is in the second column, deduct that. Those are all your deductions. Let's talk a little bit about the relationship of those two columns.
Yeah, I think so. Generally, when they send you the 1099 miss or NEC form, it's going to include the gross. So it's going to include everything. And that could be what the riders paid up front. Everything's included in that number. But they usually will give you a statement or something that really breaks down deductions. And that's the amount that you would generally need to subtract on your Schedule C as business expenses. So maybe it showed like $50,000, and you for sure your bank account does not have $50,000 in it, but that's just an aggregate amount, which then they should have provided you with another breakdown number of here's like fees that we took out to pay ourselves and things of that nature, which you can then use as a business expense to bring it down to the actual number you got into your bank account.
Right. The other question I get a lot from the drivers is that Uber and Lyft or DoorDash also put mileage in there, right? Because they figure out this is your mileage, and that never matches either, right? So what would you suggest for drivers to do? Take what it is on the 1099, or keep track of their own miles through like an app like Solo or some other app? What would you guys suggest the drivers should do?
It's definitely best to keep track of all your expenses as detailed as you can, and you have apps and from providers like Solo that will help you keep track. Janet,
Okay.
you have anything to add?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I personally have a Schedule C myself, and I use an app to track everything. I don't want to say I don't trust the company that's preparing it, but they may make a mistake. And so if I have my accurate records, I can then refute the statement they gave me or make adjustments that I know I need to make on my own.
Yeah, you guys are familiar, I'm sure, with period 1, period 2, period 3. Period 1 is a rideshare driver with their app on, waiting for a request, right? Or driving around, right? Period 2 is they accepted the request on their way to pick up the passenger, and period 3 is with the butt in the back seat, right? So are all those 3 periods, as far as deductions are concerned, or the standard mileage deduction is concerned, are they could they be deducted, all those miles?
That's an interesting question. Let's see. I think it depends on like when you actually are starting. But I don't know the exact answer to that, but I can definitely research it and then follow up with an answer.
Okay, all right, because that happens quite a bit. Like, okay, so let's say I live in the suburbs, I leave my house, right? And as soon as before I get out of the garage, I turn my app on. And then I drive 10 miles to get somewhere that's busy. Are those 10 miles deductible, let's say? Because my app is on, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay, all right. So yeah,
Well,
look into
depends on
that.
the IRS and what they consider, they have some exceptions.
Expenses, right? Business expense, right? Because I'm driving, it's a business expense, I guess. So let's see if we have any other questions. Oh, one other question that actually some viewer tweeted me is that supposedly if a lot of high-end platform drivers such as Uber Black, Lyft Black, they have cars that are over 6,000 pounds, right? Like a Suburban. So I don't know this, so that's why I'm asking. He said, can you ask them the question, if a car is over 6,000 pounds, supposedly you can write off the whole thing the first year. And then he sold the car. He goes, if I buy one next year, can I write off that whole thing again? And I wasn't sure. So do you guys know anything about that? Because I see in my neighborhood, a lot of Armenians drive G-Wagons. I think they're because the whole thing is deductible. I guess that's why they do it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I would be careful with it. There are some exceptions when it's over 6,000 pounds. It might be reduced. There are some laws around that. I don't know the exact numbers. If you're going to buy one and expense it all in 1 year, just be careful when you sell it, because you may actually have to, what we call recapture, add that back as income on your taxes. So you're not really getting away with getting a full deduction 1 year, and you sell the next year, you may have to end up paying taxes back on that sale.
Okay. All right. So that question is answered. Let's see. If we have any other questions, do you see any, Chris? All right. So if there isn't any, we'll do this. Give us some suggestions, seriously, like as gig workers or rideshare drivers or delivery drivers, right? Give us some good advice. We're here to listen to you. You're the experts. And how should we do it? I mean, I know, get your paperwork ready, get all your deductions ready. But what other advice can you give our audience for people who are watching now and are going to watch later by the thousands?
I guess another deduction that we didn't mention yet, that some people may not be aware of, for self-employed individuals, there's something called the qualified business income deduction, which you can take a deduction up to 20% of your net income earned during the year. And there are other limitations. There's like an income phase out, but that is another deduction that you may want to look out for if it's not already on your return.
Well, actually, one thing I just remembered. So there is self-employment tax. We're all self-employed according to the IRS, right? 1099.
Yes.
What is that tax? What's the percentage of that tax? Does that have to be paid quarterly, yearly? How does that work? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the self-employment tax rate is 15.3%, and it's different from your, or you can actually take the deduction of half of that amount in calculating your individual income tax.
Okay.
And generally, as a gig worker, if you're not getting withholdings on your 1099, you may also be required to pay quarterly estimated payments.
Okay. So look, a lot of drivers that I talk to, either their budgeting is bad or their expenses are too high. They don't save for taxes. So what should they do? I mean, like, if they gross $1,000 a week, should they automatically take $150, put it in another account for taxes? Is that what they should do, Yeahwon?
Yeah, I think you can utilize tools, and maybe Gemma wants to talk more about the things that Solo can provide to help you better estimate when you should be making your quarterly payments.
Okay, let's talk about that, Gemma.
Yes, so Solo offers a tax, not only tax filing, but also yearly tax projection feature as well. So as we track, your deductible mileage from your work activity and add that into the app, we'll actually show you a breakdown of your gross income or your gross earnings and also your net earnings. So taking out those deductible expenses from your gross. And then on our tax screen as well, we also show you kind of projected amounts that you are potentially could owe, just as an estimate to kind of give workers an idea of how much they should be setting aside for or planning for throughout the year to make, April 15th a little bit easier on the wallet if you do end up owing. So that feature is available year round too, and kind of helps you just plan for the future.
Okay. Here's one question. Is the mileage deduction unlimited year after year, or is it up to the value of your car?
You can take the mileage year after year, so it doesn't depend on the value of your car. So if you
Okay, so
drive,
you could have a beater and drive 80,000 miles this year and take all the deduction. Okay. I love that. Okay. That's why I don't know too many rideshare drivers who pay taxes. Here's a good question. How about the difference between vehicle insurance? Can you deduct the difference between personal use insurance and using vehicles for work? So a lot of drivers that we're educating did not know that during period one, whatever Uber and Lyft offer them as far as insurance is concerned is garbage. It doesn't cover them. So that's why we tell them always go buy a rideshare rider or rideshare, extra insurance, right? So maybe he's talking about that. Is that deductible as well? Because I have my personal insurance, liability, comp, and collision, but now I go buy an additional policy to cover me for period one and rideshare. I think this pertains to that.
I would say if it's strictly for the ride sharing business, it would be deductible. But if it's kind of blended in with your personal insurance, then you may want to kind of calculate a percentage of how much time you used your car for personal versus business, and then just take a percentage of that amount.
And
Okay.
that can also be how keeping track of your miles comes in. So if you know how many miles you drove for your business divided by your total miles driven with that car, you could multiply that percentage by your car insurance amount.
Okay. So William says, do you count depreciation of vehicle or on itemized expenses?
You do. That is the route you're taking. So if you're taking standard, no depreciation. But if you're taking the itemized expenses, then depreciation is one of those expenses you can take, and it's included in that value.
Okay. And I'm assuming last year was 65.5 cents, right? So we're filing taxes with 65.5 cent mile deduction this year, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Interest you pay on your car is also tax deductible. Is that a question or a comment? I don't know.
It is. It is deductible as one of those itemized expenses.
Okay. So let's give our audience, some parting words. But besides that, you know what? Let's do this. If we are not going with the standard mileage deduction, okay, we're going with the itemized one. I mean, most people I know are using the flat 65.5 cents because I think in most cases, I think it's more beneficial to them, especially if you have an older car that's depreciated already, then just lower your taxes more. But if you have give us an idea about if I have a newer car, right, which one is more beneficial for me? Should I do itemized deductions, take it piece by piece, or should I take the mileage deduction?
I would say it depends on how much you're going to drive or plan to driving.
Well, okay, an average, let me tell you this. An average full-time Uber driver drives 5,000 to 6,000 miles a month.
Okay. I almost want to pull out my 10 key, but I won't do that. If you're driving that much and you just bought a new car, I would say the standard mileage is probably more beneficial. You own the car though, so the depreciation is higher. That's when the software can really calculate the difference between the two to see which one is going to be best. But if you're driving that much and it's 65.5 cents per mile, let's say for this year, I would probably say go with the standard mileage. That's going to reduce your income less, so you probably won't owe any taxes.
Okay.
And when in doubt, just again, keep all those receipts, keep track of all your expenses, because who knows at the end of the year what may give you the greater deduction at the end of the day.
Okay, so there's a question comment. How much do you charge for your services for back taxes doing rideshare? I'm in California here. That I cannot answer, but buddy Steve, you can go to the show notes on the, both their solos and column taxes links are there. You can follow that up from there. Okay, let's put this one up as the last question. Do you lose a huge advantage by renting over owning the car as far as taxes are concerned, I'm assuming? Rentals, by the way, run about $500 a week. So
yeah, I would say then just save up to buy the car, and then you can take as much mileage as you want. Okay. That would be, my advice.
Okay. All right, cool. So give us some parting words, give us some advice, give our audience. I'm pretty sure we covered everything because those are the questions I saw. But if you have other questions, so I guess, as I said, both the links for Solo, which is one of my favorite apps, is in the show notes, and as well as column tax. If you have questions, please go click on the links, educate yourselves, or ask them, send them an email, or you can send them to me, Sergio@therideshareguy.com. I'll just forward it to them. I'm not a tax expert, they are. So, a couple of minutes each, give us some advice. All right, Gemma, I'll start with you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been great chatting with you all, and thank you again, Yeahwon and Janet, for joining us. You can use the link in the description as well to sign up for Solo. I will say that our tax services are still happening, and you can file for a flat fee of $50 if you're not a Solo subscriber already. If you are, it ranges from $30 as a flat fee or free if you're a Pro or Pro Plus subscriber. So feel free to download the Solo app through that link and you can get started. And then feel free to email us as well at info@worksolo.com if there are any questions about the Solo app or our partnership with Column Tax. Thanks again.
There you go. That's Gemma from Solo. Thank you for showing up. Much appreciated. And Janet?
Yeah, Schedule C, sole proprietorships, gig workers, all that. It seems hard at the end of the day, but I would just say from accounting experience, as long as you've got everything tracked, even if you use an app to do that, that's better than not doing anything at all. As far as estimates, that's probably the number one thing I've seen is people have to pay because they didn't know they had to pay estimated taxes quarterly. One of the things I do, and I'm not advertising this, but with my Schedule C, when I get paid, I put a percentage of it into a savings account. It earns money while I'm still working so that when it's time to pay taxes, I can pay my taxes and still have interest earned. So money still.
You're not scrambling at the end of the year to pay taxes. Right. And last but not least, Yeahwon.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Janet. And I guess one last tip I could offer as well is if you happen to receive like a lot of income this year or like this tax year compared to the prior years, and you're worried about any penalties or that may accrue when you file your return, you can always follow the safe harbor rule, which is paying 100% or 110% of prior year's tax liability to ensure that you're not going to be paying those penalties when you file your tax return. You can check the IRS website for more details. The 110 versus 110% distinction is based on the income level you are at. But yeah, that's all.
All right, there you go. People, advice. Again, both the links for Solo and Column Tax are in the show notes. Please go visit their website. If you have questions, you can send them to me, Sergio@therideshareguy.com. I'll forward it to Gemma, Janet, or Yeahwon. And, much appreciated. Thank you for showing up. I know it's not enough time, but we tried to enter as many as we could, and we have limited time. So, much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So that is solo and column tax. One of the biggest things is no matter what you're doing in any type of business, make sure you track everything. So whether it's gig work or you're doing additional work that's outside the gig economy. So if you are your own 1099 and you're a true independent contractor, anything that's related to that business, make sure you're tracking. And then definitely when you start getting into larger, more income, when you start getting into something that's beyond, let's say a W-2 and 1099 or just 1099 work that is gig related, that's when you're probably going to want to expand into a CPA because they're going to be able to help you a lot more. And they're going to give you a lot of advice. One of the big things too, when you guys are asking certain questions, a lot of the things that was going through my mind is it's going to depend on your circumstances. And every single person is going to be different. So that is one thing to keep in mind. So without them knowing all of the information at hand, they're not going to be able to give you the best answer that you could possibly have for your own circumstances. So with that being said, make sure that you have somebody that's in your corner working for you, who knows tax law, who knows the ins and outs, what you'll need. Because I've had a CPA for a number of years now, and some of the things that I'm able to do and deduct and know what I need to have, it's just going to help me a lot more in my yearlies when it comes to whether I have to pay or whether I receive. It's always going to be a little bit different, but at least I have, my things set aside for what I need to do. And I do highly suggest you do that as well. Just so then it's not a headache when it comes to this time of the year where you're stressing out, you're pulling out your hair or anything like that. It's just going to be something that is going to be more beneficial for you. And you'll have a lot more knowledge, a lot more insight. And the other side of the coin, with that being said, is when you have more knowledge and you have more thought behind it, and another person who's in your corner, it's a lot easier when it comes to this time of the year. So you might not want to look forward to it, but you're not going to have the stress related to it.
I agree. I mean, we're all different, right? We're all our cars are different, all our circumstances are different. But one thing is for sure, right? Save some money at least. Maybe if not the whole 15%, but save some money for your self-employment taxes, and then you have FICA taxes that you're responsible for. Again, I'm not an expert. If you guys have questions, send them to me. I'll forward them to Gemma or Janet or Yeahwon. And so yeah, that's it. And hopefully you guys learned something. If you did, great. If you didn't, great as well.
Yep. And I think the biggest thing is, though, that most people have different circumstances, and that's one of the biggest things that if you need a specific circumstance, answered, that's where somebody is going to be better, who can look at all of your circumstance and then figure it out the best for you. Because yeah, it might sound that taking the standard mileage deduction might be better, but in actuality, if you're tracking everything and you add it up, you could be potentially at a point where they could finagle things and kind of work it where maybe that standard mileage deduction isn't actually better for you. So
I think
yeah, it's just something that you really need to pay attention to when it comes to how you conduct your business and all of that. So
I think if you bought a brand new car, which you shouldn't have to do ride share or gig work, I think it's definitely worthwhile looking at both sides, standard mileage deduction, or your depreciation may be higher the first couple of years. So you may want to do a separate Schedule C. So, itemized deduction, So, make sure you understand the differences. Don't just go with the mileage. If you bought a 2022 or 2023 car, I'm pretty sure your deductions are going to be more if you took an itemized one. But again, do your own diligence and then go with that.
Yep, absolutely.
All right.
All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about Uber Intercity. So this is something that some people are seeing. The people that are seeing are in LA and Toronto. So these are the two areas that they're doing.
Orlando as well now. Orlando as well.
Orlando
I
is
got
on
an
now.
email from Orlando. This
Okay.
literally showed up in my app one Friday afternoon. It just showed up, and I always mess around with my app, and I was looking at it, and I go to my preferences. This Intercity box showed up, and I'm going like, nobody told us anything. There was no warning in the app. Okay, you know how they usually send you messages introducing you to a new feature. Serge, look what we have, or an email or something. Nothing. And then
these are the tests.
I don't know what they are, but they were actually, to be honest with you, I think they are not just in LA County, because I got it from Orange
I
County.
pulled up the website right now to let you know exactly where it is.
Okay.
So right now, what Uber Intercity is, it lets you request longer trips from one city to another, which kind of is an obvious thing with the name Intercity, as long as they're within the service area. You can request a trip on demand or reserve a trip for a later date and time. You'll have the option to request a one-way trip. And Intercity trip availability is in the U.S., piloting between the following cities: LA and Orange County, LA and Palm Springs, LA and Inland Empire, Orlando and Central Atlantic Coast. And then in Canada, it is Toronto and Hamilton, Toronto and Kitchener, Waterloo, Toronto and Niagara, Toronto and London, Ontario, Kitchener, Waterloo and Hamilton, Niagara and Hamilton, Vancouver suburbs, and downtown Vancouver. So those are the areas that it's available in.
Yeah, of course, we're always going to be, LA, they do it because it's so spread out. And then, you know what, we've been complaining about, this rebalancing with upfront fares that showed up, right? Long trips are not paying nothing, right? People are declining. And, now, there's a sample ping from city to city. All right. What do you see there, Chris? What do you see missing there? You see the upfront, you see the Intercity tag, you see the pickup to, distance and time to pick up. What do you not see?
I don't see how long the ride actually is and where the real drop off is, and time and all that when it comes to the drop off.
Yeah. So, okay, here's the question to Uber, why do you have to, by the way, they are paying decent initially anyway, because I got a lot of screenshots that Friday immediately, which is, I'm grateful for the community to send me those immediately. So Uber, why is there no destination? What happened to upfront fares? So this is so typical of Uber though, right? They give you something that's maybe a little better paying. I'm going to get into the pay part in a minute. But they take something out. Always. They give something, but they have to take it out. They take something out. Why? Why is that? Why should there be a compromise? Why is where the passenger is going? I mean, what's the point? Yeah. This looks so much like a scam to me, right? I mean, you draw a line and you expect me to kind of figure out from city to city or county to county how many miles I'm going to drive. I'm supposed to know that. Like, already, why can't you just put it there? Actually, Chris, the thing I figured out is that, remember we ran our poll last month, right? We said, how should upfront fares be? A lot of people said we like to see where the passenger is going, right? But we also like to get back to the rate card, right? Now, did they listen and do that? Look at the receipt of this trip on the right-hand side. Now, this is an UberX Intercity trip, right? Going from one city to the next. Actually, this is going from one county to the next. And look what you see on the receipt, Chris. What do you see? On the right side, distance and time.
Yep.
There's a rate card, right? Okay. So on an UberX trip, for that specific trip, this is from a driver, obviously. The trip came in, the writing is really tiny. So what is it paying per mile? 73, right? Is it 73 or 70?
For what?
The mileage on the right-hand side on the screenshot.
35.55 miles for 78 cents a mile.
78 cents a mile, right?
Yep.
So Uber X is, before upfront fares in my city, was 60 cents a mile. So somehow they decided to pay more. But also look at the time. How much is time component on this trip?
26 a minute.
Right. And it used to be 21, 60 and 21. This for Uber X. And now we're at 78 and 26, which is a lot higher, right? So this trip on regular Uber X without being inner city wouldn't be paying this much. So clearly it's paying more for this specific trip. But then we'll show a couple other screenshots. Let's look at how's that $28 an hour, Jared? It's like $55 an hour. But anyway, so let's look at the next screenshot. Next slide. All right, so there are some more trips, right? And the funny thing with this is the rates are all over the place. Okay, here's Uber Comfort Inner City going from Orange County, right, to, okay, the previous trip that we showed up was 33 miles and about 50 minutes. It paid $55, right? This trip is 46 miles, 55 minutes, approximately the same time, but it's paying only $47.85. And if you look at the time and distance rates, this one is 70 and 13.
Yep.
Do you see what's happening here? There's no rhyme or reason again. It's just numbers are just showing up. We just have no idea again. The vagueness, the empty bullshit that we have to go through. I mean, the biggest bullshit is that we don't know how far it is to destination, and we don't know how long it's going to take to destination. Why take that away? I'm not even sure. If you're going to do something decent, and just do what the drivers have been asking for and our community asked for, actually. So, and then the next screenshot, there's one more slide. All I'm trying to show you guys that the pricing is so different, right? Look at this one. This is this is Uber X, right? There's an $18 tip in, I mean, $13 tip in this. If you back out the $13, Chris, it's $50, right? This is a pickup at LAX, going 35 miles and 41 minutes in duration. But this is after the trip is concluded. On the pink screen, it's not showing you any of this other than it's going to show you $50. This is a fantastic trip. I would take this trip every day. But now look at the rates. Look at the rates on that one. 90 cents a mile and 30 cents a minute for Uber X, which is clearly higher, which actually was my rate before they cut it to 60-21. My rates in LA was 90-30 before the last cut and then before upfront fares. So why are these rates all over the place? This is Uber X. I'm not even sure what's going on here. Like, if I pick up at LAX going to another county or city, am I going to get paid 90-30? Or is it for this driver? Or is it specific for this trip? Like, you know, they're testing it, right? In 3 different trips, we showed 3 different pricing. We have no clue, as usual, but also we have no clue now how long the trip is going to take in miles and minutes. There was no surge on that trip. Clearly, they're paying better. Clearly, they go, okay. And can you just put the last one up one more time? The slide. Okay, do you see also on the bottom, on the right-hand screenshot, people, look at it. It says inner city surcharge. This driver got paid $3.97 more as a surcharge. By the way, I looked on my passenger app. If I order a trip from my house to LAX, which is in both LA County, there's no inner city. But the second I change my destination, Chris, from my house to Disney World, which is in Orange County, the only thing the passenger sees as a passenger, the only thing I can order is Uber Inner City. Now, I cannot order X, XL. Everything comes with Inner City to the passenger as well. So they are doing something, right? And on another screenshot, I saw the Inner City surcharge to the driver as high as like $8, right? So are they doing something like this to see what the flavor is going to be in the community as far as accepting longer trips now? Because they have the inner city surcharge and the rate card is back. But then their rates are all over the place. There is no consistency. I'm not sure. I'm sure I'll figure that out if I do a couple of them myself. But then they took the most important part of upfront fares, which is where we're going, how long it's going to take, right? And how many miles and how many minutes. So if you guys have this, send me screenshots, Sergio at therideshareguy.com. I know it's in Orlando. I got a couple from there. LA drivers, Orange County drivers sent it to me. Again, Uber, if you're doing this to figure out if we're going to bite and do some longer trips because nobody's doing those long trips because of upfront fares being a haircut, just come clean. See, this is what I'm so sick of. Why? What's the point of you not showing me, right, under UberX upfront fares? We all love to see where we're going. Why take that away? Because does it always have to be like this, Uber? That we give you something, but we have to take something out? Does it always have to be this? Why? Just, you have the information, just drop it in there. And if you're going to pay more, great, much appreciated. We'll do long trips again now. But why, right? You tell me, Chris, why? Why did they do that?
I have no idea why they're doing it, but honestly, from the way it looks at the current level, and that's before Uberfies it, it seems like it's a good thing. And it seems like they're taking one of the biggest things that drivers complain about when it comes to these long rides. So like, let's just use Buffalo for an example. So if I go from Buffalo to Rochester, or Buffalo to Syracuse by Levi, chances are you're not going to get a trip back. Even Buffalo, Niagara Falls, but usually you're going to get somebody back from Niagara Falls going into Buffalo. But the reality is, when you're taking these rides, you're going to have to deadhead back. So if they're kind of adding that into the fare itself, and they're going to pay a little bit more, whether it's the intercity surcharge, whether it's a higher rate, or both put together, I think that's going to be a good thing for drivers, because you're actually going to start getting money back when it comes to them taking into account you having to deadhead back. Now, one of the things I'm going to share right now is Uber's website. And so this is kind of like the email before they email you. So when you get that email and it shows you all the different things and it gives you kind of like the breakdown of it, this is what it is on Uber's help website. So they do have the stuff here. Now, this is what they say are the benefits of intercity trips. And Sergio, I'd love to hear what you have to say in chat. Yes, please put in too. So it says potential for higher earnings. Now, we looked at that. We've seen that when it comes to it. It looks like you are getting higher earnings because longer trips help you earn more. Out-of-town surcharges are added to driver earnings in applicable routes. It's flexible and transparent. You'll see the destination on the offer card. You can also use the agency option to turn your preferences for these trips on or off.
This is from their website? This is from their website?
This is right there. Now, I don't know about you.
Can you send this to me? Can you send this to me after the show, please?
Sure. Yeah. Anybody who's looking, it's help.uber.com. And then just go to the driving delivering tab and then type in under the search bar, Intercity, and it'll pop up like city to city or something like that. And that's where you can go to get this. But yeah, that's just saying flexible and transparent. Now, here's the thing though. To me, when I see that, I'm looking at less transparency, because you don't have all of the information as you would as UberX or XL or anything like that. And then it says ease of driving, escape the city traffic and drive on longer highway trips. So they're trying to sell this as a benefit. Now, honestly, I would have to agree there. Sometimes I like taking the longer trips.
Absolutely. No. Yeah. I mean, I have no problem with any of this. I just didn't it just say more transparency though, right here on their website? How's that more transparency? I don't know where I'm going.
I don't know.
I don't know how many miles I'm driving. Yeah, the pay is great. Oh, you know what we have to do now? We have to pull out our rulers and say 1 inch means 10 miles on the Uber map. So I'm just gonna figure it out, because I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's like, just leave it the way it is. Pay with the rate card. Show them up front. We're good. Yeah. Why all this shenanigans again? Why?
Here's my next
complaining. I think it's just stupid.
This is my next thing I like to see. It says return trips to home cities. If you take an Uber Intercity from your home city to another city, you'll be prioritized to receive a return trip request back to your home city. So if they're giving you like a free destination filter, then that I think is going to be even better. Now, if they can prioritize that, so oh yes, if there's a ride that's going from Rochester back to Buffalo, and you got a butt in the seat both ways, all right, I'd be okay with that.
That part
But,
is
like,
hocus pocus. I'm not buying any of that. It's not an extra exchange. I'm not buying any of that. All I'm buying is I like it. I like the rate card. The fact that there are all different rates from all over the place, we need a breakdown of that. Like the highest one I'm seeing so far, I had a bunch more of those. If you pick up at LAX, and if you're going from LAX to another city, Inland Empire, Palm Springs, south to San Diego, or Disneyland, or wherever you are, and you guys know, or some sort of Ventura County somewhere, the rate card seems to be for UberX 90/30, which is literally 50% higher than 60/21 that I had before upfront fares. That's good. However, the other thing I'm seeing is on UberX, again, going into LAX from, let's say, Disneyland, the rates drop 60 cents a mile and 13 cents a minute. There are rates, I've seen rates all over the place. I've seen 78 cents, 73 cents, 90 cents, 60 cents. We just don't know, as usual. But I like the rate card, Uber, okay? But don't take the destination away. That's just not transparent. That's not cool. We have it. The community is asking for exactly this. All you have to do now, Uber, is, since you know the destination, the trip length in time and distance, just put it there. We're good.
Yeah.
We'll give you thumbs up.
That's kind of the point of, like, that's the kind of point of an intercity trip. Like, oh, it's going to be from my city that I'm in to another city that's semi nearby, maybe. Maybe an hour away, maybe 2 hours away. Who knows? But that's kind of the point. So why would you take out that information? That just doesn't make any sense to me. It's like
typical Uber, bro. Typical Uber.
I don't know, but I would like to see what. You know what? The one thing that they have to do is they have to do XL Intercity, because there's going to be a lot of vehicles, or there's going to be a lot of people who want XL rides in larger vehicles who are going to be going in.
They have it. They have it. They have it.
No, it's only it's
no.
As far as I know, it's only
if you go on your passenger app, like I can go to my passenger app and order an XL trip from my house to Disney World, which is 40 miles, let's say, right? Yep. Only choice I have as a passenger is X Intercity, Comfort Intercity, XL Intercity. It's all Intercity. There is no more. There's no more X. I can't order as a passenger. I cannot order. I can order an XL Intercity. I can order an X Intercity. I can order a Comfort Intercity. Okay. I don't think there is shared Intercity. But this is the other thing, is that you have to imagine that. But this should not actually even be called Intercity, because I think we can go. I can be on the border of LA City, and then be maybe 3 miles could be in another city. This should be like more like inner county, because that's what's happening here. From LA County to Orange County, from Orange County to LA County, right? Anyway, that's just parsing words. Uber, good work. We like the rate card. I'm not sure about the rates, that they're all over the place for X. I don't know, but put the destination in, the time and distance, just like the regular upfront. Put that in. We're good, right? Yep. And then the Intercity surcharge. That's good. Maybe they throw that in there, Chris, for the driver to spend that few bucks to get back. They're paying you something for dead miling, maybe back to where you were. I don't know. But yeah, I like it. It's just a matter of now fixing it. But don't take it away. Don't take the upfront info away. That just doesn't make sense.
And that's the whole thing. I do like the longer rides sometimes, as long as it's like earlier in the shift. It's not like where I'm gonna say like an hour out, and then you get that long ride. It's like, no, I don't want to. But beforehand, like if it's when it first starts, I don't mind taking that, because you have you have a butt in the seat for an extended period of time. And if they're going to start factoring in the difference that it is going to be deadheading back, I wouldn't have a problem doing it at this point now. I haven't done them in such a long time because it's not worth it. And I think that's probably part of the reason why they're bringing this about. And I mean, anybody else who's watching it, what are you guys doing? Are you taking these long rides? Are you kind of like taking it as a wash? What's going on?
I mean,
You know,
the pay
what's
is
your
pretty
thought
good,
process
Chris.
behind it?
I'm not gonna deny it. The pay compared to what it would be without the Intercity tag on it is pretty good. I mean, an LAX trip from LAX to Disneyland, 35-mile trip, 40 minutes. That was without the tip, it was $50. That's a good trip. I'll take that any day because pretty sure you can catch a Disneyland trip back to LAX or back somewhere else in Orange County. Look, I like the pricing. I like everything about it at the moment, but you know, it's new. It's new. Let me actually, I drove some this weekend, but I didn't have Intercity on. You know, let me do a couple of these. I like the pricing. I just don't like that they're hiding the info. Why? What's the difference
Yeah.
between Intercity and X? Before we would get a long trip, okay, and we would see how far it is. Is that why they're doing it? You think like they're like because they showed us the destination like nature hike or 50 miles away, and then nobody was taking those? That's Uber. That wasn't because it was too far. It was because it wasn't paying enough.
Pay
That was
sucks.
it.
Yep.
Now that it's paying, now you take the destination away. It's like why? Why? See, this is what I don't understand.
It doesn't
I
make
just
any
don't
sense.
get it. I mean, anyway,
Some moron there is not living up to their full $77,000 expected pay.
yeah, that's $77,000. Yeah. Anyway, so if you guys have it, send me screenshots. You know, we'll talk more about it as I found out more about it.
The more that we're able to look at it and figure it out, we can kind of come up with more of a better idea of what the rates will look like. So
Yeah.
I think that'll be a benefit. So yeah, if you guys are seeing this, if you're in the Orlando area, if you're in the LA area, you know, send it our way. Or again, if you're in the Vancouver or Toronto area, you know, why couldn't they just bring it down to like the Buffalo area? So I wouldn't mind testing this out, Uber. You could put it into Buffalo and Rochester and, you know, the surrounding area, and then we can talk a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good.
All
That's
right,
a good.
let's move on. Let's talk about the title for today, or at least one part of the title, and that is Uber stealing trips or tips on reserved trips? What's going on right there?
This is simple, Uber. We're back to shenanigans. Okay. I had a conversation with someone actually today at Uber, and they go like, whoa, you know, I go, listen, this is the reason drivers do not like Uber. The shady shit that you guys pull. And I'm going to keep my composure on this because we had this stealing, shaving, whatever you want to call it, on EVs, on upper platform, dropping down trips, I mean, come on, Uber. Why? Why is this so necessary? I mean, we get it. On, you know, a lot of the surge, a lot of the bonuses have become fare replacement. You know how the algo is moving up and down the base fare. We got that part, okay? Which is hopefully that's going to be illegal at some point. But this, what you do here, is so blatant. Whoever's writing the accounting or whatever it is in the algo is either dumb or they think we're dumb. Okay? We're not, obviously, because this driver goes, here's on the left-hand screenshot, that's his reservation that comes in. You got to pick up at 5:55 p.m. You will be paid $37.01 for completing this trip. Okay? Simple, right, Chris? It's good enough. This driver said, I like it. I see the mileage. I see the time, you know, $37 for 48 minutes. Okay, good. The trip ends, right? What's the tip on this, Chris?
1873.
So what's 37 plus 1873, buddy? 55-ish.
A lot more than 49.54.
Yeah. So where'd the tip go?
Oof. Service fee?
I guess. So where did this $6 go, Uber? Where? Why? I mean, this is so blatant. If you're going to steal, make sure you don't get caught. If you're going to commit a crime as a criminal, make sure you don't get caught. This is stupid. And of course, this driver caught it. He sent it to me. And now we're talking about it.
Mhm.
I don't want to talk about it because this shouldn't be happening. This I know is illegal. You cannot touch tips. Because I don't see any other way. There is no other thing that the fare should be lowered on this. I don't see it whatsoever. The trip did not go less than expected. It did not go significantly less by miles and minutes. Everything was done properly, except that you figured this guy got $18.73 tip. I'm just going to increase the service fee to the point, and when I add it to the fare, this guy gets haircut at $6. What? How many times, how many thousands and millions of times is this going to happen? Until I send this to you and you go, oh, bug, we're going to fix it. And then maybe a month or two later, right, everybody gets some adjustment in their account, which happens quite often. That was another hot email topic this week, Chris. People are getting adjustments out of the blue. I knew what it was. You know what it was? You know, on those high surge trips, how Uber's Algo takes the surge out and doesn't pay you the surge, and it accuses you of GPS spoofing, right?
Mm-hmm.
They paid everybody. You know,
Good.
People got $100 here, $80 there, $50 there. They go like, "What's this money for?" I don't know. I'm assuming it's for that. Why do all this? Why is any of this necessary at all? Uber. So, and then next screenshot. And then this guy driver goes to shithole of shitholes. And remember we watched that video, Chris, that we're not supposed to talk about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
As a diamond driver, if you push enough, you're going to get your $20 out of them, right? Because they're authorized to give you the money, right? And then they gave him his $20 convenience fee after an hour of haggling. See, Uber, you lost in this one too. You should have paid the guy his $6.
Mm-hmm.
We're done. This Uber, you lost $14. All that service fee you dinged the guy for, and he obviously caught it and called you and complained and said, he probably said, I'm going to sue you guys or something. And then you guys give him $20 to shut him up. Why? You lost $14.
He probably said, I'm going to go to those guys Show Me the Money Club on YouTube.
Probably.
Blow the story wide open. Anyway. And that's why he got the $20 inconvenience fee.
He did anyway. And then, see everybody like, why all this necessary, right? So if you guys are going through this, please send me the screenshots, Sergio@therideshareguy.com. If they're taking your money from your reservation, reserve trips now, taking your tips and rolling it into the fare and increasing the service fee, please send them to me. Please, Sergio@therideshareguy.com. There you go.
Yep. So let's move on. Let's talk about the second thing. That is this title, and that is the Lyft algorithm is completely broken, and Lyft is calling it edge case. So if you hear the term edge case,
I lost my shit on that one.
This is the lingo that they're going to use to try to say, oh well, this doesn't happen normally, but this is an edge case. So these are one of these key words that if you hear, it's probably happening more often than not.
You know who you are at Lyft. That was your word, and that's where you are. And then the second, literally, timing was beautiful on this. The second I get that email saying, well, yeah, those edge cases, I'm like, these are not edge cases, sir. This is happening every single day, millions of times with your Upfront Algo busted, broken stuff that you guys have over there, okay? Here's a driver. Lyft Upfront Algo is broken. Perfectly, I titled this one. And then, you know what? You know how we do the fake and funny, Chris, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to start doing one for Lyft every week until they fix it. Yeah? Now, you think this is an edge case? Okay. Hi, Sergio. Okay, this one's a doozy and goes to show that the external fees that Lyft charges are totally fake. I believe.
What? What? Totally fake. Bullshit.
Fake. What fake? There's nothing fake in Lyft land.
Edge case denied.
So anyway, okay. So he goes, I did a ride today where Lyft cut the upfront fare, edge case, and paid a lot less because the trip was shorter than the upfront. Edge case.
Oh, that's the edge case. That doesn't happen often. That's just an edge case.
Never happens. It happens to Kyle every time he drives. It just doesn't happen. Edge case. They left, and this is not Kyle, by the way. This is somebody else. They left off the pickup portion, okay? I combined the screenshots in a single image for you attached. Here's the fun part. Okay, Lyft, you watching? All right. One.
We have a screenshot in an upcoming slide, just so people know.
We're having the screenshot. And sir, you did an amazing job. Who know you who you are? I love those types of screenshots when all the analysis is done just to see. One, I confirmed with the rider the total fare they charge him was $17.85. Okay. Upfront fare was $13.09, including driving 11 miles to pick up. So I told them already, why the hell would you even do this trip? You're driving 11 miles to pick up, and upfront fare is 13. That's not the point. Actual trip was reduced by 5 miles due to the stop being canceled midway. So obviously, not only he had to drive 11 miles, but this ping came in with a stop, which I will never accept, right? And then this rider took the stop out because we're going from point A to point B. No stop. Are you ready for this, Chris? You guys will see the screenshots. Your mouse will be on the floor. Edge case, here comes edge case. Okay. Lyft then paid me $4.45 as the reduced fare. $4.45 from $13.09. How much is that? Is that like 70% haircut?
It's a little bit more of a 25% cut that we've been seeing.
Edge case cut. Okay. Okay. So they left off the pickup fee, but where did it go? Good question. The upfront fare of $13.09 less the paid fare of $4.45 is a difference of $8.64. This is important. Under the earnings, and here is the screenshot. Look at this, people. Look at this. Rider paid $17.85, external fees $7.31, Lyft fee $6.09. They paid this driver $4.45. That all adds up. But what happened to the $8.64 that they clawed back? What do you think happened, Chris? Edge case, it went to back to the rider.
I think I don't think the edge case is. I think that's the total case that happens. There is that just goes right back to Lyft.
and unless the Lyft fee on the original ride was in negative figures, okay,
which it can. It's possible.
Very 1 out of 100. But the algos are too good now. They don't lose money. Yeah, and then some of that money was sucked into the external fees. Absolutely, Mr. You know who you are. That you didn't like me calling subsidization of the thing. Yeah, okay. Bottom line, the time on the ride was reduced by 13 minutes. The distance was reduced by 5 miles, yet the external fees went up. So this passenger changed its. Eliminated the stop that was already put in before he ordered the trip, but he decided to go point A to point B directly, no stop. I'd love to hear the explanation on this edge case. Lyft.
This is an edge case.
Here it is. Look at this. $13.09 was up front. Okay, I mean, okay, all you're gonna is cuss this driver out. Please don't cuss this driver out. He did what he did. It's a mistake. Okay, he shouldn't have even accepted this from the get-go. The estimate for this trip, Chris, was 41 minutes and 21.47 miles. Okay? And upfront was $13.09. Why would you even accept that to start with?
No.
However, the rider eliminated the stop, so it ended up being 28 minutes and 16.36 miles. And the edge case algo hammered this guy by $8.50. So Lyft, in your world, do you think 28-minute, 16-mile trip is only worth $4.45? Why don't you get in your cars and do a few of these? Okay? You will not need me to put this up here. You won't need me. Go drive for a month. I'm sure the algo is going to screw you like this. So then, the guy sent me the passenger payment, $17.85. He was correct. He had confirmed with the rider how much he paid. $17.85 was the one. The external fee, $7.31. Estimated Lyft fee, $6.09. And the algo decided to pay this guy, Chris, for a 16-mile, almost 30-minute trip, $4.45. Edge case. Here's your edge case.
Yeah.
This happens every time, every day, all day, 24 hours a day. Lyft has 1 million drivers. They do 2 million trips. See, I'm pointing it to the camera because I know you're watching. 2 million trips a day. How many of those 2 million trips this is happening? Now, if this was an edge case and went the other way around, if the trip came in at 28 minutes and 16 miles, but went to 41 minutes and 21.47 miles Lyft, would you have increased this fare by $8.50 as much as you cut it on this one?
Oh, hell no.
The
We've
answer
seen
would
that
be
how many
capital
times?
and capital O.
It'd be like $1
All right.
extra.
So much for edge cases. Out of 2 million trips a day, if this is not happening 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 a day, I don't know my name. My name is not Serge. It's something else. So fix it. You know who you are. Fix it. Because this is bullshit. Anyway, so there you go.
Yep. Absolutely ridiculous. So moral of the story is, we had the segment Cash or Trash. Make sure you look at the ride and make an appropriate determination whether it's cash and you want to accept the ride, or it's trash and you decline it all freaking day. That ride is trash no matter how you looked at it, whether it was the actual upfront fare plus the 11 miles to go get them, plus the 13 miles for the ride and the 56 minutes and the blah, blah, blah. Just ignore it completely. You don't even have to have that problem. So absolute trash there.
Yeah, trash
All
from
right,
the start.
move.
Trash from the start. Trash from to accepting. Trash to the end. Trash, all trash everywhere. Trash. But it's not an edge case. So okay, so we're gonna hit this edge case for a while.
Happens more. So if you hear that term edge case, it happens more than not. So just being honest there. Anyway. All right, well, let's move on. Let's talk about the Lyft is now wanting riders to upload IDs. But the question is it really about safety, or is it just because they want to verify their debit cards? So
I don't know. I saw this. I tweeted it. It got so much traction. In fact, I said, Lyft, my hat is off to you. You beat Uber to it, because Uber's still dicking around with it, although they announced it a few months ago. And we still have the fake names and all that stuff, right? So as a driver, this is what I'm seeing now. I need to upload the back and the front of my driver's license and take a selfie as verification. Good, safe, no problem. I'm happy to do it. However, the one on the right, Chris, was new. It says, before your ride, we need one more thing. Please provide a photo of your driver's license or state ID to verify your account. This is to the passenger people. Now, I saw it. I tweeted it. I got my hats off to you, to the Lyft team and Mr. Risher. In fact, he came back, we follow each other. He came back and said, I said, you guys must be listening to Show Me the Money, because when he was on 4 months ago, FYI, he's going to come back on in April, towards the end of April sometime, to Show Me the Money. I have confirmed that, but that wasn't the point. This was one of the contentions that we had. I go hey, why can't the rider upload an ID, right? Now, the detail that I don't know on this is this to verify all existing passengers are going to go through this, which will be absolutely fantastic. And Mr. Risher said on his tweet back, I said, are you guys listening to Show Me the Money and our community? He said, we are listening and more to come. All right, cool. Now, is this for all existing passengers?
I gotta stop you real quick. The more to come stuff, bro. I've heard that
more to come,
every single freaking tweet, and I don't see the more to come. The bill has come due. Bill due has to do. Let's see some changes, some real actual changes, not more to come.
Yeah,
we had you on in September. We gave you until March. Guess what? It is now March. It's the end of March. This is the last Tuesday before April. Next week is April 2nd. So the bill is due. Not more to come. Changes. That's what I want to see. I'm sorry. That's my little rant.
Okay, I get you, but this is a good thing, unless this is only happening if this is happening for new riders onboarding to everyone, good. The best would be all new riders go through this process, all existing, because I have a Lyft app. I was in San Francisco a couple of weeks ago, or Oakland. I took Ubers, but I priced it on Lyft. It didn't ask me to upload anything on my app as a rider. So I'm kind of thinking now maybe it's only for the newbies, new people onboarding the platform. Or is it what Uber has been doing for 6-8 months already, which is if you're uploading some sort of debit card or a gift card or some Walmart, you go pay cash and buy a gift card and open a Lyft account with it to do some criminal activity or whatever the heck it is that you're going to do. Is it just for that? So Lyft, again, clarification, please. This is a cool thing. The best would be, Mr. Risher, by the time you're coming on, you tell our audience that every passenger, existing passenger, new passenger has to go through this verification. My hat's off to you.
And you know what? Let's give them something for verifying. Let's give them a little check mark, a little verification badge check mark right next to their name. It says they've been verified.
Yeah, I like it. So
okay,
we need answers, but hopefully, it is for everybody and all newbies, riders coming on the platform. I think it's a great first step towards safety of drivers. I think it is. So see, we called the shit a minute ago Lyft, and now we called it good. We call it the way we see it. Edge, yeah. I hope this is not an edge case with the ID.
Here's the thing. What we were talking about was not an edge case, but what we just were talking about with the verification upload, that's the edge case, because
don't join the CDU, bro. Come on, don't join the CDU. Come on.
Well, either way, I think it's good to see. I hope to see more. I'm going to have to actually open up my rider app and see if I can price out a ride, see if anything happens.
Right. And if it asks you ID, no, it's not going to ask you for an ID.
I don't think it will, but we'll see. I mean, the account's tied, so driver and passenger account are tied. So I don't think it's going to be. Technically, I would already be verified. So we'll see from there. I think most drivers would already be verified. So, all right. Well, let's move on. Let's talk about. All right, let's talk about why Boston is probably the best market on the town. Besides you got your Conchata.
You know, we did the article on the Boston driver with $200,000 earnings. I mean, look, it's all, again, go sign up to the newsletter, free. It's there. All his 1099s are there for all the trolls. They go, oh, this guy's a liar. He didn't make that kind of money. On Uber X and Lyft Standard, he was grossing $200,000 year after year for the last 3 years in a row. 1099s, Uber statements, they're all in there. But anyway, so Chris, I'm part of, like, once every Monday, I stop by at this coast to coast drivers group. They do a spaces on X. You know, no complainers, all pro drivers, all veterans in their cities, right? And you know, we know, okay, I get all the screenshots every week with the time slots, right? When Uber messages come in, people send them to me. Boston by far is the highest earning city in the country. So I'm going like, I wonder what the hell the reason is. And one of the gentlemen, Matt, in that group as well, you know, they were talking about it at X, and I was listening, and I was like, what did he say? And then it hit me. Now I know why the Boston market is the most balanced, and the way the markets are supposed to work with dynamic pricing, $30 surges when it's really kicking in, bad weather, all that stuff. It's a beautifully balanced market. Then I go like, I wonder why that is. I wonder why LA is not like that. LA was like that, but now it's not. I'm like, oh, here's the deal. In 2017, you know, you guys are going to say this is old. No, it's not old. It's all relevant. In 2017, the city of Boston that runs the TNCs passed, Chris, a secondary background check, this time run by the state, on top of the checker background check, buddy. Which the second background check, on the right screenshots, you guys can see, 8,000, this is just for 2017, 8,000 Uber and Lyft drivers fail Massachusetts' new background check. So what happened is that this is like an additional filter under the filter, okay? That's why in Boston, by the way, to drive an Uber and Lyft, you have to have a license, separate license by Uber, separate license by Lyft. It doesn't cost you anything, but you have to go through this background check. All right. And state background checks, this is the new law in 2017, it's still going on. And that's why Boston is the best market, because it's a perfectly balanced market, right? Demand has grown, but the driver headcount has not grown because not every schmuck can get on the platform. Because there's 2 separate background checks and they're run, I think, every 6 months. So if I'm wrong, Matt, you correct me with that. State background checks are required by a new law that was approved last year. This is 2017. The background checks began in January and were due to be completed by Monday. Under the law, drivers for ride-hailing companies must go through a 2-part background check, one through the company and one through the state. This is going to be my calling now. In every legislation that I'm supporting, Chris, this has to be in there now. Immediate oversaturation problem solved. The ride-hailing companies must conduct multi-state background checks on criminal and driving records. Companies must also check the National Sex Offender Registry. If the driver passes, the companies then give the information to the state, which conducts checks through the Registry of Motor Vehicles, the Warrant Management System, as well as the state's criminal records database and sex offender registry. So in that year, when 8,000 drivers got declined to join Uber and Lyft, look at that list, Chris. The shit's too small, but that's the breakdown of why they did not. They were not allowed to get on Uber and Lyft. Read some of those numbers. Read some of the offenses over there, Chris. You can start at the bottom. Actually, if you
Uber,
want.
Lyft, and Fasten were mostly denied because their license had been suspended. They'd be driving for less than 3 years or had multiple serious driving offenses. So, number denied license suspension was 1,640. Driver license less than 1 in 3 years, 1,580. Open cases, 1,250. Multiple serious driving offenses, 1,058. Violent crimes, 958. Violent crime 2, 601. Inactive license, 562. Sex abuse and exploitation, 352. Multiple violations of traffic laws, 347. How far does that go back? Because I'd be fucked if that was the case. Felony fraud, 342. Felony convictions, 334. Open unresolved driving infractions, 331. Reckless operation, 307. DPU discretion, 276. OUI, 152. Felony robbery, 149. Open warrants, 138. Habitual traffic offender, 78. Sex offender, 51. For a total of 10,506 number denied that would have normally passed just on a checker background check.
Yep. How do you like that, Uber? Why don't we do this everywhere? This will immediately solve everybody's problem here. All the oversaturated problem. And then you guys talk about, oh, markets are oversaturated. I'm telling you, Chris, if they run this in LA County, bro, we would be back to 2017. It'll be surging. It'll be beautiful. It'll be just completely balanced. And by the way, I am all for people having a second chance in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you shouldn't be able to willy-nilly get on and drive. And this is his licenses. Every year he has to get one of these. The left side and the right side. One is for Uber, one for Lyft. Matt, I'm hoping I'm doing this justice, bro. And so here's Matt, actually. Here's the man right here that brought this idea. Those 8,000 drivers were Uber and Lyft drivers already. They were kicked off because the second fucking background check came in. Thank you for the correction. Can you know how wonderful this would be, Chris, if they ran this nationwide? Or, you know, all this legislation we have now going.
Well, the parking tickets is because I may or may not have a lot of parking tickets that I have accrued when I was younger, and having fun and enjoying life. So how long does it go back? Does it go back your entire driving record, or is it like the last?
I think 7 to 10 years. You know, I don't know the exact numbers yet. But look, I mean, he brought this up like 10 days ago on one of those coast to coast spaces on X. And I'm like, I'm going to start digging into it because I think this should be part of legislation in any city, every city.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? I mean, this doesn't hurt anybody. So, you know, I mean, there were like sex offenders and criminals and multiple felonies and shit in there. And the guy says they were already in there, right? Oh yeah. Oh my God, please do that in MSP. Yeah, I think it should be part of. I bet you Uber and Lyft will like vehemently reject this idea.
Why?
They'll be like, no. You know, I'm like, no. This would be awesome. This would be awesome.
Drivers in chat. Put a 1 if you think it's a good idea to have this secondary background check. 2 if you think it's a bad idea. Put it in the chat. Let us know now.
All right, 1 or 2. Let's see the 1s and 2s. The other thing is, Chris, oversaturated markets don't become oversaturated because they need to be oversaturated. What they do is when everybody and their uncle is driving, and then checker background check is watered down, is not enough. Look at these ones. Look at these ones. If anybody puts a 2, I'm going to commit suicide. Yeah, there you go. Community has spoken.
If anybody puts a 2, it's because they probably shouldn't be driving.
That's about what shouldn't be driving, exactly. So Chicago has an ordinance coming up. Boston has one coming up. Portland has one coming up. I'm going to immediately get in touch, and then I'm going to make Matt the head of the head of this little game we're going to play. And there's Eric E. Put 2. Are you criminal?
Eric, sorry, you're deactivated.
Yeah, you're deactivated. And to me, it's like, this is a no-brainer. This is absolutely a no-brainer to me. That and the reason Boston is the best market is not because it pays the best, because it's the most balanced, Chris. You know what I mean? Yeah. People who are not supposed to drive are not driving, because that's the only thing they can do, by the way, on Uber. If you're a criminal and shit, and if you just pass it, you pass it. Or if you're on some fake account, you did it. Because that's the only income you have. You can't go get a regular job. They're going to run a background check on you anyway, even at McDonald's, right? So it's such a balanced market. I can see it. I mean, I know Matt well enough now. He sends me screenshots. I'm going like, yeah, Mike Duval, you're definitely going to fail. God knows what's in your past. And then to me, it's like it's a perfectly balanced market. It surges when it's supposed to surge. When the demand kicks in, it's not like LA that it's all gray clouds or other cities. And I think this is a no-brainer. So let's work on it, Matt. Anyway,
yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing something like that. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about your background check that just happened.
Yeah, one morning I was going to drive actually this weekend because, Chris, I had 5 trips for $60. Quest, first time in 4 months.
Whoa!
I got a Quest. I knocked it out on Saturday. Shit. I knocked it out, bro. I was like, hey, give me the money, right? Okay, so I'm ready to drive. I turn the app on. Boing, that sickening feeling you get in your stomach, right? Well, yeah. This shows up, either you got deactivated or you got suspended or some shit happened. And I'm going like, oh gosh. So I click on it. It goes, agree to, to the background check. I'm like, okay, look at the by the way, look at the times of the screenshots that I took. Okay. So 3:06 is when I did this, 3:06. 3:07 is like, I agree and acknowledge for the background check, right? 3:07 is, it showed me that I needed a background check. Okay. So I had the screenshots, but we didn't put them up. I clicked admit. Okay. 3:09. This is what I got from Uber. So how long does that take? 3 minutes?
2 minutes.
3:07, 3 minutes.
You beat me. Because when I needed mine a couple weeks ago, it was about 12 minutes from the time that I hit submit to the time that it was all ready to go. So you won. You beat me.
3 minutes. It took me to get through the background check. And then, but the funny thing is, Checker sends me an email, right? Because I always say, send me a report on my background check, right? You're right. Checker sent me an email after like 2 hours after this. Checker sends me an email. It says your background check is running. I'm going like, I thought I was done. I'm on the app already. I'm driving. And then maybe half hour later, Checker says your background check is done. Here's your report, right? So I'm going like, all right, cool. So a lot of people send me shit, Chris, saying that, oh my God, it's been 2 months. My background check is still running. So I don't know what's going on. But in California, supposedly it's done in 3 minutes. I was like happy. But I thought, you know what? I thought
it's 12.
Yeah, I thought about the segment. If they had screwed me with this and the background check ran, because my Quest was only for like a week. 5 trips for $60. And I was going to do it on the weekend. And today it was running out, right? So if the background check lasted longer, I go, there goes my Quest. I was going to say, oh, you fuckers, you just give me the Quest, but then you made me, go through the background check is taking too long, and I wouldn't get my $60, but I got my $60. So I'm like, yeah, thumbs up. So
Nice.
Uber, good job. 3 minutes is what I didn't expect it to be. 3 minutes. I was like maybe a couple hours, couple days, whatever. But 3 minutes was
Now,
fast.
here's the thing. Did you have to do your Lyft background check on the same day and time?
No.
You
I
needed
did that like
to.
a month ago. Lyft was a month ago. I don't know how they
Okay.
worked that out. Lyft was like a month, and Lyft was also very fast. Maybe not this fast, but maybe like 10 minutes. It
Yeah,
was like
mine. So for those who may not have known, a couple of weeks ago, Uber and Lyft required me to do a background check same day and time.
Yeah.
And when I signed up, it was actually a big difference in time, so it really shouldn't have been a problem. But yeah, literally same day, same time that I needed to do the background check. Uber took like 12 minutes. Lyft took a couple hours for it to do. So
Well,
it wasn't too bad, but it still was a pain in the ass.
yeah, we see this all the time. Sergio, you're lucky it took over 3 weeks. Yeah, I see this all the time. But I guess you know what? One of the reasons, by the way, Checker said in their email, we're running your background check after Uber already said it's done and you're back on the platform. Checker says, why do background checks get delayed? Supposedly there are some DMVs or state offices or whatever it is that are the city offices that the background check has to go through. If they don't report back to Checker real fast, that's why there's like bottlenecks basically in the whole system. I'm like, all right, sure. Mike Duva, I'm going to get you deactivated. I'm just messing with you, bro. But yeah, he's in Boston. He's killing it. Everybody in Boston is doing what? Look, Boston is the perfect market for a veteran cherry picker. Veteran cherry picker. If you know what you're doing in Boston, you can kill it. You can make 40-50 bucks an hour because surges are real. They're organic. There's no fake bullshit. Demand kicks in. 30 bucks surge shows up and it dies down. If you know what you're doing as a veteran, you're doing well in Boston. If you're a dumb shit, you're gonna be bad in any city. But in Boston, yeah, we're gonna push for that law everywhere. That'll get rid of some freaking fake accounts.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about one of my favorite topics, and that is drones. And
that's you, buddy. I just put that in for you because remember. Okay, all I'm gonna say is remember we had this same thing in Australia. That fucking thing hit a power line.
Yep.
And then it killed the power to the city. This is all you right there. Look,
well,
enjoy yourself.
Look, so for those who don't know, I'm Part 107 certified to fly drones commercially here in the U.S. And whether you agree with getting a Part 107 or not, or flying recreationally, it is what it is. If I want to do certain things, I have to have the Part 107. It is what it is. But I enjoy the drone. I have fun with it. It's fun. It's cool. It's different. It's a nice hobby, but it's also something that you can monetize, and it's good. But there are a lot of rules when it comes to when and where and how you can fly. One is beyond visual line of sight, and that is what delivery drones are. And the problem with delivery drones, in my opinion, is one, it's going to clog up the sky a lot more, and there's going to be more restrictions on where you can and cannot fly as a Part 107 compliant drone pilot. So nothing has come out from the FAA yet, but the biggest thing is the beyond a visual line of sight. So when it comes to these drones, this is the big problem because a lot of them have not had beyond visual line of sight, which means that you have to keep your eyes on your drone at all times. The problem is, if I'm flying a Doordash drone and going from here to the restaurant to pick it up to the house to drop it off, there is no way you're going to be able to see beyond visual line, there's no way you're going to have a visual line of sight of your drone. You're going to be beyond that. Now, I don't mind that. I think that we should be able to fly beyond visual line of sight, especially if we have something that you're able to, see and have a good area of what's going on. But you still want to be safe, and you want to make sure that, if there's a helicopter that's flying by, that you're not going to crash into them or something like that. No, it's not so I could get Wendy's faster, but I honestly, I think it's going to be a weird way of trying to mix in these third person. I think it's going to be a weird way of mixing in delivery drones, especially if you're going to have food delivery drones, if you're going to have package delivery drones like Amazon wants to do, if you're going to have all of these different types of drones taking up the sky, it's going to be a real problem, and it's
I
going to
agree.
actually be a lot more of a nuisance and a headache than it is of the average person just going out there and flying around different things. So
first of all, I don't think these are going to be flown by people. I think these are all AI fucking bullshit anyway. But look where the order is. Look where the order is from, Chris. Look where the order is from. Look where the order is from. Your third screenshot. It's your favorite place.
Oh yeah, Wendy's.
Yeah. And actually, this is in the app.
As long as they don't do surge pricing, I'm okay.
No, but you're going to pay a lot for the drone. And then, okay, listen to this one. The company told, this is DoorDash, this is like a week ago. The company told TechCrunch that for a delivery to be placed via drone, an address must have a small clearing on the property around 2 meters. Meters meaning 2 meters is like 6 feet. Yeah, 6 feet. In diameter, in order for the delivery to be sat down, because I think that basket is going to be lowered, right? This reminds me of the item, I remember it was like almost a year ago, Chris, when we did the Show Me the Money. You know how in Italy, grandmas lowered the basket from up there down here to have their groceries put in, right? This is the same shit, bro, except a little more high tech. And what Driven Dad said is 100% correct. This is going to be like target shooting, have like a 6-pack and shoot the shit out of it, blast the shit out of these things. DoorDash notes that driveways free of obstacles. So look at all this work we have to do to get this fucking thing lowered to our area.
Well, here's the other thing too. You won't be able to fly these in high winds. You won't be able to fly these in inclement weather. And
horrible idea.
They're going to be limited in the amount that they can be used. So that's just because you can build it doesn't mean you should. We've said that how many times, like with robots.
Times. This is not an edge case, by the way. Most of Wendy's items will qualify. Oh, there's a weight limit. Hold on, you can't order anything special. Like most of Wendy's items will qualify for drone delivery, but certain items may not be eligible if they exceed volume and weight restrictions. What the F? If the order contains more than what one drone can carry, DoorDash will deploy up to 3 drones to deliver the order. All this, Chris, to get rid of the poor driver. Think about this. I want to fly 3 drones for cheaper than a DoorDash order that's $2. Think about this. There are idiots that are doing those orders. You think this drone is going to be cheaper, DoorDash? You morons. This is all bullshit.
No, you're still going to have to pay. See, here's the thing. You're going to have somebody on hand who's paid. You're going to have to, they're going to be the remote pilot. So whether they're behind the computer or what, they're still going to have to do it. Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know.
They're operating their PR departments are so stupid, and as well as these people who write these articles, right? Bro, as a journalist, have 2 cents worth of common sense. Talk to a driver, talk to somebody who knows about these things. Don't just cut and paste what these PR departments or Uber, DoorDash, Lyft tell you, okay? The launch of the pilot in the US comes as Alphabet has been operating small-scale deliveries in Christiansburg since 2019. DoorDash plans to bring the pilot to other cities in the US. Please do it. Please just come to Granada Hills. I have this beautiful Benetton shotgun that I wanted to use for a long time. I'm willing to go to, I swear to God, I'm willing to go to jail for this. I will blow this thing into pieces, bro. I'm telling you. DoorDash users who are blah, 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 new. So, and then here's a Wendy's order. That's what it's going to look like in your app when you're ordering via drone, standard, or schedule ahead. And you know what? Look at this. They intentionally, they put the drone faster. What if you have to deploy 3 drones and I ordered a whole bunch of shit at Wendy's and it's not going to be enough to wait for 1 drone? You can put all that in a standard car, in a 2-ton car, a 2-pound burrito in a 2-ton car, very efficient, by the way, and pay the poor driver $2 DoorDash, and then, they'll take him for you. I mean, definitely cheaper than this garbage over here.
Here's the thing. This was March 21st. So it's been cold lately. So I'm sure Christiansburg, Virginia has also been cold. So imagine the time that it takes for you to take the order from this particular Wendy's out to the house. It's probably going to get cold pretty quick.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that what you don't realize is if you got a hot bag, you're keeping it warm. Your car's going to be warm. You know, these things are going to be keeping it a little bit more warm for the end customer. The end customer might be, oh, that's pretty cool. It's being delivered by a drone, huh? But your food is going to be cold. And are you going to be happy that you just spent $45 fucking for probably 2 cheeseburgers and a fry?
Yeah, well,
No,
there's
I
a
don't
weight,
think so.
there's a weight limit. Don't order a drink or a big gulp or something. There's a weight limit.
Yeah.
This fucking thing is weak. Can't carry that thing. You know what I mean? So like, that's just so stupid, bro. I mean, I'm telling you, just whatever. Yeah. So this is DoorDash. If you guys see it, what would you do? Shoot it out of the air or let it land? I'm just gonna take my shotgun and go to work. Imagine
Well,
this.
here's
You
the
know,
thing.
some
All I gotta do
redneck,
is just wait
some
for it to fly
redneck
over
in
my
Arkansas,
house,
bro.
pick it off. All I gotta do is just pick it off and be like, "Oh, I got a free delivery."
Yeah, well, the food will be in pieces, but you know, this will not work like in redneck country, bro. They'll be shooting these things because you know they have the moonshine
Yeah,
going
but
there.
the
They
only
may think
problem
it's
is
like
that
some
it's
cop or
destruction of
some shit.
property.
Shoot the fuck out. It's the
Yeah, but
stupidest
it
thing
still is
I
destruction of
can.
property, and you can be brought up on charges. So
Whatever.
it's just easier not to worry about that. But the thing is, I'm not a fan of these delivery drones in any way. I'd rather have, you know, my drone flying around, and I'd rather be able to fly a flying car
Yeah,
around. I don't want a
I
friggin'
agree with you.
delivery drone crashing into me while I'm flying around my my little flight
Well,
car.
no, but drones are doing a lot of good work, right? They're doing the you know, real estate things, or they're doing, what do you call that? Like when they're um, grading certain pieces of land and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah, when you're
for
doing stuff like
mining, they
that,
have a, you know, they have a lot
I
of good
mean, emergency
resources.
services, they definitely come in handy, especially when you have IR on and you can't see. Maybe it's at night or something and they're flying by, and they're able to you know, pinpoint people, or they're able to
Nice,
help find certain
like,
things. Yeah, there's
I
definitely a
like
lot
that.
of good things on drones, but when it comes to
Yeah,
delivery drones,
that's a good
yes.
point right there. Imagine that. You know, Mike Smith is usually a pain in the ass, but today he's behaving himself. So imagine if the seagulls and the birds figure out.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's another thing. I mean,
and, imagine
birds
those
attacking
propellers, they
drones
chop the head
are
of like a seagull or two. I'm like, yeah, baby. Like, yeah,
they don't
that's
even need
blood.
to. They'll fly up right underneath, they'll grab it, and they'll go.
Yeah, well, anyway, so just like you said, I used to say that. Remember, if you can, just because you build it doesn't mean we need it. It's just some
Yeah.
more PR bullshit. Anyway, so let's go. Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about some other funny things when it comes to vehicles that want to replace all drivers, and that is our driverless vehicles.
Yeah.
And what's the best way to take care of these types of cars?
Yeah, this was sent to us by a viewer from Phoenix. Waymos are allowed in Phoenix. There is the cone head. And we actually he took a video of this. We'll put it as a short. You guys can go watch it on the channel. You know, this thing with the cone drove around the corner and it died. it was like, I'm like, that's very appropriate right there. So yeah, there's a cone head. And I mean, I'm not going to say what the you know, what our viewer said, because I don't know if it's true or not, but so yeah, these things are still not able to drive with a cone on the hood or on the windshield. So it still works, proves that. And on the next one, are we at the Funnies and Fakes? Yeah, okay. So this was sent to me. This was an email. I didn't pick it off Reddit or anything. The guy goes, the audience member goes, Serge, look at this. Uber keeps sending him message after message saying, finish your paperwork, get on the platform, start driving, all these messages, right, that they send you when you're missing some paperwork, right?
Mm-hmm.
He goes, Uber, your document is expired. Please head to the app to update. Okay. And then the next message is, Uber, around $13 an hour in Dallas Fort Worth could be yours. Finish your account signing, start earning today.
Woohoo! Don't spend all that money in one place.
$13, baby, before
Hey, you know
expenses.
what's funny?
Yes.
You can't even get a DoorDash, or I mean, I'm sorry, you can't even get an Uber Eats order from Wendy's
No.
for $13.
Crock of shit. $13 into actually that's worse. DFW is one of the worst cities to drive in. Top bottom 5. It's like 17 to 20 bucks
Yep.
an hour. Drunk hours is like 20.
All around
I'm like,
really
wow.
isn't good.
Yeah, it's horrible. Actually, most of Texas is horrible. Austin, maybe not. But so Uber. What is the guy's incentive to finish his paperwork? Hurry up. If you're sending him, you're going to make $13 an hour. I don't even know. Why would you?
That's hilarious. That's bad.
Yeah. This is Uber's app. No lies. And how about this one? Lyft. This one definitely needs the ID verification.
Hamburguesa.
Hamburguesa.
Oh, speaking of, if you speak Spanish primarily, there is now the rideshare guy in Espanol. So you can go and check out the rideshare guy in Espanol. Link is going to be in the description. So if you primarily speak Spanish, or that is actually your native tongue, you can go and check that out. Subscribe to the channel, and yeah. But
Hamburguesa.
Hamburguesa.
I'm sure.
I'm sure it looks like a hamburger too.
I didn't check. Is this like in some other culture or language? Does this mean like food of God or some other shit?
No, it just means hamburger.
I get it, but you know how we got corrected last time with swastika?
No, hamburguesa is hamburger in Espanol.
Oh, okay, Lyft. Bullshit.
No, so that is why. That is why I think is a 375-pound, 4'8" woman.
Oh no!
Who looks like a fucking
Don't go there. Don't go there.
Don't eat me.
So there's one for Lyft, and then of course we always have one for Uber. Endless. My database is so endless now. And then Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh! Isn't that some sort of cartoon shit or anime shit? And
I think that is, but I don't know. That could be that could be something Asian. That is a potential.
No. Okay, people, isn't this like isn't Yu-Gi-Oh? Isn't this like an anime cartoon?
I don't know.
Character name or something. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is not a real name. Uber. No.
What was you watched Friends, right? And all my people who are watching right now watched Friends. What was when Ross was talking? Oh, unagi. Unagi, that's it.
Unagi is sea urchin, bro.
Yeah, it's a dish.
No, unagi is an eel, sea eel, freshwater eel.
Unagi.
Almost 6 months. Richard, exactly. Hey, we got the driver ID. You know, I'm wondering because they said like he's going to come back on, and he knows we're going to ask him about. Hey, man, what happened to the safety of driver? Oh, we introduced that thing, right? Timing is working.
Yu-Gi-Oh is a card game.
Huh?
Yu-Gi-Oh is a card game.
Is a children's card game? No, it's not. Is it really? I want to check on that. I'm not buying it, Michael. Oh, okay, so it's not a real name. That's all we're saying, right? Could it be a real name? I mean, well, if it's a real name, I'm sure Uber will send an email tomorrow saying, "Oh, by the way, swastika means."
Well,
so Uber. Finally, Intercity, I like. Rate card, I like, especially the 90/30. I don't know about the return at 60/15. I like the additional Intercity charge. All good. Why did I give up my destination, time and distance? Why? Why give it back? And Lyft to you can take the edge case and you know where to put it, because those are not edge cases. 2 million chips a day. I'm betting anything. If 1% of 2 million are like that, that's 20,000 chips. That
does not become an edge case. That becomes the norm.
You just killed the driver. $13 to 4. And you know, I'm gonna put one every week now. Now that they said it's an edge case, every week I'm gonna put one up, just like the fake names.
Okay. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, there you go. So
all right.
Anyway, yeah, we're done. Right?
Anything to wrap up right now, Serge?
No.
You got?
I got my quest. I did a video. You guys can go watch it. It was under Uber must have missed me because it was $60 for 5 trips. I knocked it out. And some idiot passenger left something in my car. I got the test. Uber's new seamless return policy. I got the $20. It worked beautifully. I'm going to do another video about that. This week, okay, this Friday, March 29th, downtown LA, for all LA drivers, for all my intercity drivers, for all my intercity drivers, Orange County, Inland Empire, Ventura County, LA County, please come meet me at Curbivore, downtown LA, CURBIVORE.co. Get your $5 ticket by putting in Sergio 5. We'll have a driver power hour from 12:30 to 1:30 where we sit down and eat some delicious food, spend some Harry's money. And after the event from 4:30 to 6:30, I think there's an open bar and more food and drinks.
Ooh.
Shh, keep that quiet.
What the hell, Harry? How come I don't have my flight?
I'll stick you in there too. So yeah, $5 tickets, please get it. Come meet me. And then I'll meet you guys and do whatever. We're definitely going to run the test, Chris. We're going to run the test.
Oh. I think that was a failed opportunity from Harry by not bringing me out there.
He's a failure. He's the weakest.
Have a Show Me the Money Club live snippet.
Well, Johan is going to be there. Johan is going to be there because he lives literally next block over. Okay, he lives downtown. So I go, "Are you coming over?" He goes, "Yeah." And we'll do a live stream in your honor. Actually, we can do a live stream. You can join us. Why can't you?
What would be that?
Friday. Just do a StreamYard with a live stream from Curbivore.
Yeah, I could drive in 45 hours.
Okay.
You're funny, traveler.
Yeah, Harry.
Actually, I probably wouldn't care. I probably wouldn't care about driving it. But yeah, that'd be a lot.
No, driving. No.
I would fly.
Yeah.
I have an 8-hour rule. If it's beyond 8 hours driving, I fly it.
Okay.
Although I don't really know if I want to fly with Boeing right now.
Yeah, I know when the wheels and doors are falling off.
Yeah. Fire in the engines. No thanks.
Yeah, that's worse than Uber's Algo. Anyway, so that's what we have. Everybody, thank you for hanging out. Hope you guys learned something with the tax experts. If you have questions, send it to me. If you have screenshots like this, Uber's stealing tips on reserve trips now, send it to me, Sergio@therideshareguy.com. If you have these edge cases where you get hammered by the trip going shorter, send it to me, Sergio@therideshareguy.com. And we keep working for you guys. And let's, again, come see me on Friday. I'll be there from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Thank you, everyone.
And then next week, we have a big show.
Oh, that's the other thing we should ask them what to do. How about we get opinions?
Episodes.
Okay, how about you guys email me, Sergio@therideshareguy.com, what to do. Don't do some obscene shit. Don't do crazy like do it naked and stuff. I don't want to hear that. Send us some ideas. What should we do for our 100th episode? I mean, it's a big, achievement, right? So Sergio@therideshareguy.com. Send me some ideas. Let's see if I have some acceptable ones in there. Yep. Actually, yeah.
And then Thursdays behind the wheel. It's with a driver in Minneapolis. What's going on there?
Yes.
Basically, they don't want Uber and Lyft to leave the area.
Yes.
So Joe just put out a video yesterday, I believe, talking about why he doesn't think that they're going to leave. And then, a lot of things going on there. So it's going to be an interesting about a month. Just over a month, because they're saying that they're going to leave May 1st. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. So make sure you check out Thursdays Behind the Wheel. Also for members, if you're a member over on our YouTube channel, because this is more than one place, then make sure on Thursday you will be able to have the members only live stream that we do monthly, and that will be at 3 p.m. Pacific, or I'm sorry, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific.
Okay, so this guy says, like I said at the beginning, 100. So we give you guys money? No. How about you give us some money?
we come every single week and
we come for free. We on top of that we give you money. Well, we probably have a giveaway or two anyway. But no, how about you guys give us the $100? We're working like a dog here, bro. You guys think this is easy?
Man on the street video at Walmart with Google Spark account drivers.
What the?
Unfortunately, I can't do that. I haven't seen any in my area. I'm sure that there are, but I haven't seen any.
Okay,
I also try to
that's
stay
too
away from Walmart.
serious. Yeah, that's too serious. Actually, yeah, no, that's too serious, bro. We need to have fun. 100 show.
$100 Wendy's gift card. How about this? You know what? I'm gonna eat Wendy's on stream just for everybody. No,
Are
you
you
know
going
what?
to?
Screw it. I'll get Five Guys.
No,
I'll get Five
Five
Guys.
Guys is like too far from me. Look, I'll get to Carl Jr. or some shit. No, well, no, I'm definitely drinking. We're gonna have champagne. Although our 2 years is a month after that, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Which one should be the bigger celebration, 100 or 2 years?
I
100,
think it's
right?
both. I think they should
Oh,
party
fuck.
hardy on
Let's
both.
get drunk on. Is it okay if we get drunk on YouTube? It's okay, right?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, our
I'll
stream
do-
is not
we do
our
shots.
stream is not for kids.
Everybody do shots. You don't drive that day. We all do
Shot,
shots. Okay, we put a
shot,
keyword.
shot,
Every
shot.
time I say that word, we all take shots.
Everybody.
There you go. That's what we'll do. Yuck. What yuck? No, we get drunk. What's wrong? Dress up in drag. No. Wow. You order an Uber Eats and have the.
And
Well, I do that all the time. I don't want to do that. Okay, I have a great
Well, you
idea,
dress
but
up
I
in
don't think
drag
it's
all
going to
the
work.
time?
It's expensive. How about a pole dancer behind me? You think Harry will pay for that?
how about I get a pole dancer?
Yeah, we both get pole dancers.
I got a pole right here, actually.
That'll be the most watched show on the internet, period, ever. I wouldn't feed Wendy's to my ex. Yeah, no, Wendy's. It's all right. Frosty is good.
Why?
I like their
Because
chili.
it's good.
Frosty
It's
is
too good for your ex.
Yeah. So much for your ex. Why you think of your ex?
No. I wouldn't feed Wendy's to my ex either, because Wendy's is too good for
Right
my ex.
Decided right here. Right here.
Algorithm, you take a shot. All right, algorithm.
I'm playing the game.
Get drunk
No,
for
I like
that.
not that. All right, we're going. What are we drinking? Vodka, tequila, whatever. What are we taking shots of? Vodka? Yeah, vodka is good.
I don't know. I mean, we need to know, because we
Ah!
got to go to the liquor store beforehand.
No, I have enough liquor. Harry. That's a good one. No,
Voice Tesla.
I don't even know if Harry's going to be on that thing. I don't think we're going to let him show up.
I don't think so.
No. Shots of what?
We have to have a certain bar that we want to cut.
Yeah, we don't want to lower our bar.
We don't want to lower our standards.
Harry showing up, for fuck's sake. So YouTube will dance. Okay, driven in style. When tax experts were on, you had some good ideas. It's like you're just falling off the face of the earth right now. Uber and Lyft bingo game. Okay, how would that be?
That would be kind of fun.
Yeah. Do we have something like that?
The problem is trying to facilitate.
Vodka. I'm going with vodka.
Everybody would be a little bit hard.
I'm going with vodka. Vodka shots. All right, Janice, I like it.
I don't know
what Chris is going to drink.
Drink a real man's drink. Get some bourbon.
What is it? Bourbon?
It'll put some hair on your chest there,
you can't
Sergio.
Take shots. Okay, we can drink whiskey. We'll give it a single ice. We can do some single malt.
Fireball.
No. That's gonna fuck me up. That's not gonna happen. I'm too old for that shit, bro. I just need to drink something decent. I drank enough of that shit. I just don't want to touch that. All right, so we'll figure it out. Maybe champagne.
I'm not gonna do shots. I'll drink SoCo all day long. I can still drink that shit like nobody's business. But
pickleback shots. I like that one.
How about this? If we're gonna do shots, I'll have SoCo on hand. If we're going to do drinks and enjoy, then I'm going to enjoy a nice, a little bit more expensive bourbon or something. I'll go to the store and grab something good.
No, we can't mix both. We're just going to do shots, or we're going to have drinks. Although we should have some champagne for sure to celebrate. I mean, okay, we'll think about it. Great. Anyways, send it to me, Sergio@therightshareguy.com. Please leave a thumbs up on your way out. It's free. Join the newsletter. It's free. Show up to Curbivore. It's only $5.
Your beard if you drink bourbon, Tony. Yeah.
Yeah, bourbon. Yeah, good bourbons are so expensive now, bro. It's like, what the hell's going on?
Some of them aren't.
Yeah, no, some of
Johnny Walker Blue is good.
I don't like Johnny Walker Blue. I think it's just too hyped up. There is better single.
I like blue. You know, if
too smooth
my
for me.
buddy bought us blue for New Year's a couple years ago. That was good. That was some
Yeah,
good
it's
smooth
smooth.
shit.
It goes down smooth.
Yeah,
But
it was nice.
I like me a good single malt. Some good single malt. All right, so send it to me, Sergio at the We'll figure it
solid
out.
whiskey in the
We're
green
not gonna have
bottle.
any topics. You know what? We should let the audience on and do shots with the audience.
Oh,
How about that? Huh? Okay. Do you guys promise you none of you driving that thing? So like we don't want to.
Jeff, that was 2 weeks ago at this point.
Which
I
one?
think my
What did you
stomach
do?
is pretty good at this point.
No, his stomach is good, bro. It's fine. Jeff, why don't you come on and you do a shot with us? You know what? That's what we should do. We should allow like 3-4 at a time. We all do a shot, and then they go out. The next group comes, and then take another shot. And then by the time we'll be all both on the desk,
We're gonna be
dead.
lit by the end of the night.
We're gonna be lit for sure. Yeah.
Smoke.
Smoke a doobie? No, I do smoke, but I don't want to smoke on air.
Hey,
Okay,
it's
no.
the,
Tell me ideas, but I think bring the audience on and doing shots with them. I think is a good idea.
I think
cool.
somebody should buy us. Honestly, I think somebody should buy us food delivery and have it delivered to our house.
I dig it. Well, I can order food delivery for you in Buffalo.
Yeah,
you can order for me, and I can order for you.
I think it should be the fans that order us.
Bro, the guy was saying, "Give us $100." Look at this guy. I'm like, "What $100? We're broke, bro. We're as broke as you are. We're drivers. What's wrong with you?" Oh my God, Dr. C, come on, Dr. C. Avoid restrictions. Yeah, huh? Avoid restrictions on YouTube live streaming. I don't know what that is. We do have some stuff to give away, probably.
We're drinking cloudy water next week. Everybody knows.
Yeah, we're gonna advertise
Tony,
it.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. Give me a slice of couple of pizzas around, and I can rate them on here.
Yeah, we could do that. We could get some pizza. We could do some. No, I think we won't have the topics, right? We're not going to talk about topics. No.
I don't know. I think if something's big enough, we'll have to. But
yeah, okay, fine. But otherwise, we're going to let you guys on, you at a time, 2, 3, 4 at a time, and then have a shot with you, and then send you off and bring you back on the new group. So I think that's a good one. I don't know. Is anybody else going to show up? Harry's going to? No, fucking. That's like no.
That level bar, man.
Sorry, I forgot. I forgot. I apologize. All right.
Hey,
cool.
He didn't say, "Hey, Chris, do you want to go to Herbivore?" So no, show me the money club for you.
For you. Yeah. No. Oh
no
my
soup
God.
for you.
Driver in style. You're getting worse. All right. I mean,
edge case. Yes, we have to have the edge case on.
Bro, if you're making 300 a week and a full-time driver, you have problems. I hope there's a zero missing on the 300, or it's 300 a day. I'm not sure. Okay, so send me ideas. Sergio at the One, we're gonna do shots with the audience when they come in, and then we'll think of some good things. We'll do something. I don't know.
We're gonna we'll have shots of apple juice to keep it YouTube PC.
Like the movies, yeah. When YouTube says, "What is that?" I'm like, "It's apple juice."
It's apple juice.
Best apple juice in the world. All right, cool. Much love. Thumbs up. If you get Intercity, send me screenshots. If you get edge cases, or if you're getting hammered, send me screenshots. If you're getting your tips stolen on anything, forget about just reserve chips, send me screenshots. Sergio at the
if you notice something that we haven't even talked about yet,
which
we want to make
rare,
it
but if you do, yeah, please send me the screenshots.
How many people are actually happening?
Yeah, bro. I don't know. Anyway, so thumbs up on the way out. That's free. Have a good one. Much love. Be safe, please.
All right. Have a good one. Be safe, be smart, make good decisions.